if things have to change, I believe, yes, should the next government, be a conservative government under Mr. Pierre Poilievre, things would be very different. I would expect to see a reset in our ties because traditionally the Conservatives have been strong allies of India, even under the previous Harper government, again, who was a Conservative Prime Minister. Prime Minister Modi and Prime Minister Harper shared very strong ties. After Prime Minister Harper left, he has maintained that camaraderie with Prime Minister Modi.
What's your impression on why Prime Minister Trudeau has been on this for more than a year now? And how has this impacted the relationship, which was like so strong? Just a year ago, it's just changed the whole game. And what happens if Trudeau is voted out? Do you see a reset in the relationship?
It's a great question, Ria. Problem fundamentally lies with Prime Minister Trudeau's conduct of foreign policy matters. Both him and Foreign Affairs Minister Melanie Joly are terribly out of their depth when it comes to foreign affairs matters. We saw it play out in the Middle East, in the way they've treated Israel, which is, again, like India, a longtime ally of Canada. In fact, just last week, it was reported that Foreign Affairs Minister Joly said that she, her riding, has got a significant number of Arab Muslims whom she needs to appease, because their support for Palestine, and hence you often throw Israel under the bus. Instead of supporting them in the fight against Hamas and Hezbollah and the Iranian regime. This is exactly the same, and now we see the same case with India. The Khalistan movement is rather vocal here in Canada, even though it is in the fringes. But the assumption in the political circles and generally with the political class is that just because they shout the loudest, they believe that they speak for the rest of the Sikh community, which is not true. Even though it's a dead letter among Sikhs in India, Prime Minister Trudeau refuses to recognize that. So it's all about diaspora politics for Prime Minister Trudeau and the Liberal government in general in conducting foreign policy matters. And unfortunately, and that has been to the predicament of Canada, it has really hurt us in our global standing. That's a domestic policy and our vote banks that are driving serious foreign policy matters today. And if things have to change, I believe, yes, should the next government be a conservative government under Mr. Pierre Poilievre, things would be very different. I would expect to see a reset in our ties because traditionally the Conservatives have been strong allies of India, even under the previous Harper government, again, who was a Conservative Prime Minister. Prime Minister Modi and Prime Minister Harper shared very strong ties. In fact, even after Prime Minister Harper left, he has maintained that camaraderie with Prime Minister Modi. So I expect it to be no different. And moreover, the Conservatives traditionally have done a good job with foreign policy affairs. So I would expect this to be a significant improvement over how the Liberals are conducting affairs.